You're not screwing any women. It's 10 years is a long time. Did not snitch on a girl that's not mine, not my family. She's not my wife. Like I got caught up in this friendship triangle, and you both got mad that I was going to screw this white girl who party we went to. Like it's just too much. I have to say, hey, you figured it out, but it wasn't me. It was like figure it out. I'm pointing, like I don't know what you have to do, but I'm not doing 10 years. Like I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I know he's not going to technically do 10 years for whatever. I'm not doing 2 years.
Not doing time service.
Like,
we're not
get me out of here, man. She did it. Megan Thee Stallion, she files for a restraining order against Tory Lanez. That just happened like yesterday or today. And
is he still in jail?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's still in jail.
Whoa.
And he's still releasing music. And in his last song, I'm going to tell you what the restraining order for, but I thought it was interesting. In the last song, he basically still is like maintaining his innocence, and he's saying that he's not snitching, and that's why he's still in jail. Because he refuses to snitch. That's not him.
So basically, her restraining order is not for like physical contact or
it
proximity.
Is. So it's part of it is for when he gets out, she's afraid for her life. That's what it says in there. She's afraid for her life.
Doesn't he have like another 10 years or something?
He had a 10-year sentence. He's probably been in there now. What? Time moves fast, man.
2-3 years.
yeah.
Another 7 or 8 years.
And but another part was that she's been harassed. She's been harassed on social media from what she believes is Tory Lanez's team, and she has like this type of evidence where some kind of way they got phone records of him and his dad paying this guy to sort of like smear her on social media for different things. But I think I do enough of that on the podcast, so I'm not. He's not paying me.
Yeah.
But
maybe you need to get the handout. Sorry, we've been fighting.
We're doing good work over here.
Been fighting a good fight, man.
We're doing mighty good work over here. And
how long you been in jail? That's how long we've been bashing that bitch.
So yeah, man, that's what that's about.
I was involved in a case several years ago that had to do with the restraining order, and the standards for it are really quite soft.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like pretty much like anything could be considered as
close. Yeah. I mean, you would think, like restraining order. I think that your initial thing is like kind of like physical danger, but it's really not. Like if you could connect, I think it was like literally like 3 instances of attempted communication, and it could be, as it was in the case that I was involved in, social media stuff that like literally messages, and not even particularly like threatening, like zero like imminent threat. Hey, I'm going to show up at your house and we're going to figure this out. Like nothing like that. Nothing presenting imminent, confrontation at all was kind of deemed enough by the court to be like, oh yeah, that warrants an order. I think the standard for it is really pretty lenient, and sad to say, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this is granted if they do have some, discernible evidence, like maybe paying a guy or directing somebody to, do some level of internet smearing or whatever the case might be. So I would say there's probably a better than average chance that this order gets granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think again for the last time, I it's safe to say the friend did it, and why he just won't come out and say, I know, like, you don't want to, I guess, tell on a girl and then the girl has to go to jail, but that she, like, you're a star, you do music, and a lot of people like your music, and like you're not making any money in there. I would, or at least not as much as you can out, and you're not, you're not screwing any women. It's 10 years is a long time. Did not snitch on a girl that's not mine, not my family. She's not my wife. Like I got caught up in this friendship fucking triangle, and you both got mad that I was going to screw this white girl who party we went to. Like it's just too much. I have to say, hey, you figured it out, but it wasn't me. It was like Figure it out. I'm pointing. You know, like I don't know what you have to do, but I'm not doing 10 years. Like I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I know you're not. He's not going to technically do 10 years for whatever. I'm not doing 2 years.
Not doing time served.
Like
We're not
get me out of here, man. She did it.
Yeah.
You do the crime. You do the time. What happened to that?
Yeah.
When I was growing up and I was a kid, that was a thing that was said.
Yeah.
Woman, man, alien. I get, you know. Come on, man. I understand. Yeah, be a man. He's being a man, and he's ho-ha. And man, don't call me a man. I don't. Call me what you gotta call me.
I don't need to be a man at that cost.
Call me what you gotta call me, man.
Price is too high.
It's too high.
Yeah,
it's too high. Man.
I agree with that. I don't literally understand why he would do that.
And the amount of head that she's going to owe him, the Kelsey girl.
He won't even have time. He won't even have time to collect.
He's a young guy, man. He'll get out with.
Who's to say she's gonna have a long shelf life?
Well, there you go.
Giving head.
Yeah. What is this I have here coming? I thought I had one more. I did. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of, so 56 says female rappers are being too overly sexual, in their music and damaging younger girls.
How about 50 being a voice of reason in these troubling, conflicted times?
Talking about maturing, right?
Yeah,
man. I mean, again, we don't have to stay on this long. He's telling the truth. I don't know. Damaging young girls, I don't know about that.
I do.
It just depends.
I do, but I also think like there's a lot of content in male hip hop that's damaging to young men.
Yeah,
like there is a when you reach those, I really feel it begins like middle school. Like you are in a situation of processing the world, and you're trying to figure things out, and you're trying at that time to gain like independence and perspective from your parents, who've kind of probably led the ship up till that point. And you're getting inundated with this messaging of drugs, violence, and, horror sex. And it's like that appears to be, and you're not that bright, honestly. That appears to be the pathway to adulthood. And, if you get immersed in that, you come out of that damaged. You're not coming out of that clean if you don't have like other sort of reference points to keep that in context. It's this is a stupid song. It's kind of fun to listen to. Like middle school kids, like they're so insecure about everything and trying to find a place where they belong. And sometimes that place is at the end of a penis.
I didn't see that coming to that.
That really came last minute.
It really came last minute. I've always been on the opposite side of that argument.
At least it came.
I've always been on the opposite side of the argument. I don't and I guess it's because I'm looking at it from me, like my standpoint. Like I don't know. I know maybe people and kids, they look at music, listen to music, and they want to become the music and do everything the music says. And I understand you can look at whatever the prison raids and all of this and that. But I don't know. I don't think that there should be a strong connection there. But I mean, what's painfully obvious is that about being too overly sexual for it that to be your only content. I shared a Sexy Red and Glorilla. I think were on a podcast or whatever. It was just those two on them. And Sexy Red didn't even know like how to pronounce or what genre was the word genre. That's like in genres. That's like that's a component of music. That's like being a lawyer not knowing document. Like you know what I mean. Like what are you talking about in your music if you don't know what genre?
But I think like when you're looking at it through your own lens, like you're underestimating that you're a success story. That you grew through life and got to a point of adulthood while maintaining like a standard for yourself. And a certain measure of success and pride. The majority of people
that's
are
strong word, man.
That fucking stupid.
Majority?
Yes.
Majority.
You think so?
Yes. They really are.
But do y'all understand what y'all saying? Like,
Hell yeah.
like somebody listens to a song or a series of songs and whatever, and they want to adapt to the lifestyle and do what that song is saying.
My
I
thing
think
with
that's overblown.
because I think you have to say it's both genders because it does have a big influence on men too.
yeah.
So you have to keep the equal field. But I think the problem with women music as well is that it's not just the music; it's the way they dress, the way they dance, and it's more like a full presentation that's easily adaptable as a 13, 14-year-old finding a gun. It happens; they can find the guns. But the majority of people that listen to men's hip hop, it's just music. It stays music in a locker room or something like that. But this kind of music, any party, it can be easily adapted and shown, and of course that can lead to things.
And in another one, you look at if you look at the violence, violence component, there's a real element, like even at low level processing, that this could get you in jail, that this could get you arrested, like that ain't gonna necessarily get you arrested, and it feels safer, it feels, okay, and more, easily done because of that. The risk factor on its face seems way lower being a whore than being a gunman.
And it kind of destigmatizes, same with the violence thing, but it destigmatizes like your virginity, your sexuality. Like, okay, before maybe you had like one partner, losing your virginity was a very special thing, and now it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah, it's loosey goosey.
yeah, who
Um,
cares?
Yeah.
And
What about this?
But you can't underestimate too, like that like that mentality in that age group. And like I would say, like we'll put it in context for myself. Like I wasn't the first person in my friend group to have sex, and so like once people started having sex and they started talking about actual sexual experience, and then you're kind of like there and you're kind of on the periphery of the conversation, and
Yeah,
like,
for
whatever.
sure. I was
and
the
then
last
when you
one.
finally smash,
Yeah.
like, now you're part of the conversation. Like those are little psychological things. Now, if you're hanging out with a bunch of your girlfriends, everybody's dressing, everybody's dancing like this, and listening to these lyrics, and first 5 or 6 of them start getting active, and you're on the outside, like you're gonna want to be like the crew, or you're gonna feel like you're losing the crew. And when you're in those like middle school, high school, like your crew is everything. Like it's how you define yourself. If you're cast out of a friend group, like people go into depression, and it's it's a serious thing. There's such a need to belong to something. I mean, you still have it as adults to a degree, but you kind of balance it a bit more. Usually, you have a balance of other things that you've got other roles that you have to deal with. But like literally, like when you're in school, when you're the age that he's talking about, like you have nothing other than going to meaningless school and being part of a group, having friends, having a clique.
Yeah. You guys are bringing me closer to the other side. I can understand. Now, there's two components though I don't think hurts him that much. The dancing, I think, is fine on all levels. I mean, maybe I don't want to say a middle schooler twerking or whatever, but and then also they did provide another avenue for women to get paid. That's why I really resent like my female sisters and cousins asking for money, because it's so easy for you to make money on social media, and then also they got the OnlyFans thing and all of this. Well, tons and tons of men pay to see women gyrate on the screen.
But theoretically, these are
with
women
clothes
over
or clothes
18.
on and off, huh?
But these are women over 18 at this point.
I would hope so.
But I think what he's talking about,
I know he's talking
the
about
younger
younger
ones
kids,
that
I
are
know.
not equipped to deal with
It's
this.
not a bad piece, not a good piece of that argument. Yeah, he's talking about impacting younger girls. Yeah. He is. All right.
I mean, seriously, I could respect or not respect a person like once they're an adult, but their decisions are their decisions.
Yeah.
As long as they're not harming me, like it is
Whatever.
what it is.
Whatever. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fair. It's funny because that's another thing I was going to say about the Travis Hunter thing is, like I can give two shits of who my friends are dating, why they're dating them, and this and that, as long as they're not like you said, it doesn't impact me at all. Like don't marry a gold digger and get screwed and then have to ask me for $500 at a time. Like,
Have you ever had like a close friend and they've dated somebody that was just so bad that you actually were like, God, this is bad. Like, this shouldn't happen.
Not that I've had to like go up to him and tell him or have a sit down. But other friends.
The thoughts crossed your mind, but you've never.
No,
it's
no,
never
what
been to
happens-
the level that like I want to talk to them about it.
What happens is the other friends get together and we talk about that guy. Like this guy. is-
Does anybody ever bridge the gap and let him know?
No, because at the end of the day, that's what he wants. If you like it, I love it. But we have to talk about this, like the other guys in the friend.